She threw the birthday cake in my face in front of 46 guests. "Why don't you just disappear?" my sister hissed, loud enough for everyone to hear. And just when I thought it couldn't get worse, my mother stepped in. Not to stop her, but to clap. "You've embarrassed this family enough, Bonnie," she said. "Maybe it's time you leave for good." I stood there, frozen, frosting sliding down my cheek, while the room laughed. If this broke your heart already, just imagine what comes next. Like, share, subscribe, because by the end of this story, they'll beg to be part of her life again, and she'll do the unthinkable. I walked out that night with just my purse, a cracked phone, and a heart full of noise. No one called to check if I made it home. Not my mother, not my sister, not even my father, who just silently watched from the kitchen doorway, sipping tea, like he didn't just witness his daughter being shattered. I didn't cry, though. I went straight to my one-bedroom apartment and opened my laptop, because if they wanted me gone, I give them nothing to come back to. You see, what they didn't know was that for the past 3 years, I had been quietly building a digital product, a personal finance toolkit for women, especially women like me. Ignored, mocked, underestimated. I worked late nights, skipped parties, and never mentioned it during family dinners. They called me a loser for quitting my bank job, but I wasn't quitting, I was investing. And now, after what they did, I had nothing left to lose. By 2 a.m, I launched it. No team, no investors, just pain turned into purpose. I posted one video, raw and real, about financial abuse in families. It went viral but while the world clapped for Bonnie, my sister had other plans. The very next day, she messaged me for the first time in months. Not to apologise, not to check if I was okay, but to say this: "You better not use our family for your sob story. I swear, Bonnie, I'll ruin you." I took a screenshot and smiled, because she had no idea what I was about to do next. 3 days later, I walked into the same cafe where my sister used to meet her fancy influencer friends and ordered the most expensive latte on the menu. She spotted me from the corner, jaw slightly dropped, pretending she didn't, but I knew she saw the luxury watch on my wrist, the designer tote I never used to afford, and the fact that I looked nothing like the pathetic Bonnie she once laughed at. What she didn't know was that in just 72 hours, I'd made Huawei 1,000 powers in digital sales.
No ads, no help, just pain turned profit. I didn't say a word to her, but she followed me out as I left. "How the hell are you affording all this?" she whispered, trying to sound casual but shaking. I turned around slowly. "I'm doing what you always said I couldn't, winning." That silence? Priceless. But things were just getting started. That night, Mum called me for the first time in weeks. She didn't even ask how I was, just dove straight in. "Your father's business is about to go bankrupt. He's having a heart attack from the stress." Her tone wasn't soft, it was strategic. Like she expected me to drop everything and come running. The same woman who laughed while her daughter was humiliated now needed help saving her precious empire. "Can you come by tomorrow morning?" she asked. "We need someone with business sense." Business sense? The same thing they mocked me for chasing when I dropped my banking job? The same thing they said wasn't for girls like you? I kept my voice calm. "Sure, Mum, I'll come. Let's fix your mess." But I wasn't coming back as a daughter, I was coming back as a shark. Next morning, I walked into their broken office in a silk white blouse and heels that echoed power. The accountant was there, confused. "Who's she?" he asked. My mum smiled fakely. "She's family." My dad couldn't even look me in the eyes. I asked to see the numbers. When I spotted the hole in their profit margins and saw where the debt started, I nearly laughed. My sister had been secretly funneling money to launch her own brand without telling anyone. And guess whose name she used for the fake invoices? Mine. They tried to destroy me, but now they needed me. And I was about to flip everything because what they didn't know was I had a backup plan and it had their names all over it. I slid the printed documents across the table. My sister's signature, her bank transfers, her fake branding agency, all of it was right there in black and white. My dad turned pale. "What is this?" he whispered. My sister jumped up, her voice cracking. "You're making this up. That's not mine." But her voice was shaky, and sweat had already formed on her forehead. I leaned forward and said calmly, "I traced every rupee, every lie, and every fake deal. You used my name to cover your tracks. You were hoping no one would ever look deep enough. But I did." My mother grabbed the papers with trembling hands. "Is this true, Alina?" she asked. My sister didn't reply. Her silence said it all. At that moment, the same family who once wished I would disappear now stared at me like I was their only hope. I stood up. "You wanted me gone, but now your company only survives if I take over." My father still didn't speak, but he nodded once, slowly. The board members were already arriving, and I was about to walk into a meeting that would decide everything. I pulled out a sleek presentation I had prepared the night before. This wasn't just a comeback, this was my takeover. In the conference room, I walked up to the projector, plugged in my laptop, and watched as everyone stared in shock. Not only had I found the financial holes, but I had already drawn up a recovery plan. One that included cutting my sister out entirely, reducing my father's position to ceremonial, and placing myself as CEO under a private investor group which I controlled anonymously. As I laid it all out, a silent power shift happened, and I could feel it, the respect, the shock, the fear. After the meeting, my mum tried to pull me aside. "You did good," she muttered, avoiding eye contact. I looked at her straight. "This isn't about good, it's about power, and now I have it." She blinked fast, realizing this wasn't the Bonnie she raised. That girl was long gone. But it wasn't over. Because that night my sister posted something on Instagram, and it made my blood boil. She uploaded a video crying, telling her followers she was being cut out of her own family business by a jealous sibling, and begged them to help her fight injustice. She didn't know I had recorded everything, every lie, every threat, every insult. And I was about to press upload. She thought she could erase me. She thought silence, guilt trips, and public lies would crush me. But instead, they built me. The next morning, I walked into court, not as a victim, but as a storm. My lawyer handed over the USB footage. Judges watched as my sister broke into my room, stole documents, manipulated data, and leaked it under fake accounts. The courtroom went dead silent. Her lawyer backed off mid-argument. The case flipped instantly. Defamation number criminal charges. She was fined, blacklisted from brand deals, and banned from managing any business accounts. Her followers turned into critics. Her sponsors vanished. Even her closest friends posted, "We had no idea who she really was." My mother never spoke again, not to defend her, not to blame me. She simply faded into the background, the weight of choosing the wrong daughter clear in her eyes. And me, I signed a $1 billion licensing deal with a global firm 2 weeks later. The same deal I was once mocked for dreaming about. My face lit up Times Square. Job offers poured in. I started a mentorship foundation under one name, Bonnie Rises. Because I didn't just survive my family's betrayal, I capitalized on it. So to anyone watching this thinking they're too broken, too betrayed, too invisible to rise, let them laugh. Then let your success be loud. Like, share, and comment RISE if you felt every word. And never forget, the ones who try to bury you are usually just scared of the seed you're becoming. Explosion.